There we go. BizzaroDavid versus Giro. KFE. The final match. As a reminder, we've seen BizzaroDavid's deck a few times, but this is what it looks like. It's got 2 Libraries of the Damned, Flash of Broken Dreams, Gateway to Dis, a couple of Pit Demons, a Time Traveler. It does not, unfortunately, have a library access, but Fat Drone, Mother type mechanic, and of course bait and switch with tons of steel in shadows. And Giro's deck looks like this, with too much to protect instead of the bait and switch. Moon Cursor, Mac the Knife, Nexus, couple of silver tooths that can be utilized with the Dusk Runner. Effervescent Principle for mass remove or mass amber control. 3 lab works, 2 dexters to get through your deck really quickly. A phase shift, wild wormhole. Again, does not have library access. Drumble for another mass amber control card. Flash Broken Dreams, Library of the Damned, Pandemonium, and Arise, and a Gateway to Dis. So these two are not dissimilar. And they are showing hands, which I appreciate. Thank you, BizzaroDavid, or Giro. I don't remember who actually formed this game. And it's going to get real interesting with that speed signal popping out immediately. So, David is once again, or Bizzaro is once again having fun with the books motif and complaining about his opponent using his books. Just wait until it gets poltergeisted. BizzaroDavid drops Library of the Damned off of his display, bounces. The creature, which creature was that? The Nexus with fear, and just throws Gateway to Dis away because he doesn't want to hold on to it. It's going to clutter up his hand. And he has the board control right now. And thanks to Mother, his hand size is respectable. He's got quite a bit of shadows in this hand, and likely will call shadows. I'm not going to say it's a guarantee, but at least right now I'd lean towards it. Soul Snatcher comes into play, which is going to suggest this is going to be a shorter game with Speed Signal and Soul Snatcher. Giro immediately throws down the Dust Imp and then blows it up, running it into Pit Demon, which gives him 6 amber and threatens. But as we've already seen, BizzaroDavid will drop a Knight of the Thief, steal, play the Ghostly Hand, gaining 2. What happened to Naughty the Thief? He reaped with Naughty the Thief. He didn't steal with Naughty the Thief. That was a mistake. He should have used Naughty the Thief's action to push Giro off of his key. Now he doesn't have the ability to push Giro off of his key. So Giro gets to forge his first key. That was a mistake by BizzaroDavid. It probably was just a misclick in the game. Crucible is easy to misclick, but because he reaped instead of using Naughty's action, Giro gets to forge his first key. And David is whoopsing because he realized what he did. Giro is now sitting on 4 shadow cards in hand, one of which is a Subtle Maul. And Moon Cursor. Moon Cursor is amazingly good when you have a speed signal in play. It's hard to suggest that you would want to do anything but play Moon Cursor. I guess you could call Logos, because you do have a phase shift in hand. Logos would let you play Moon Cursor as well to blow up. Knight of the Thief is elusive, so you blow up the Pit Demon. But Giro's just going to go straight to shadows. Should play Moon Cursor directly. probably. He could play Nexus first and reap with Nexus to activate the Library of the Damned. Because there is a penalty to killing creatures because of the Soul Snatcher. So if he throws Moon Cursor and, say, fights the Pit Demon, Moon Cursor is guaranteed to kill it because of the poison. So while he would steal one, he would also be getting. Ooh, that was interesting. Would also be getting one. So it's not as good as it would be in a scenario where the Soul Snatcher wasn't in play. On the other hand, now Pit Demon is alive and well to steal from him. But Nexus did use the Library of the Damned to archive the. I'm forgetting which card it was. I'm actually not sure what card it was. Did he archive the Hidden Stash? Huh. I know it wasn't a creature, so it had to be hidden. Oh, no, it was Pawn Sacrifice. That's what he archived. Okay. BizzaroDavid is just going to town with Time Traveler drawing and getting two more cards off of the double Library of Babel, giving him tons of options. And here we see experimental therapy done right, in my opinion. Played on a creature that you will want to be able to use in the future. It won't be able to be used the following turn, but every turn thereafter, he's got an action to steal whenever he wants to. Pit Demon is a great target for experimental therapy. I might have considered putting in a Naughty the Thief just because of the elusive. It's a bit of a toss up. If you think your opponent has something like Pawn Sacrifice or Twin Bolt Emission or Positron Bolt or Punch or putting it on the bigger creature is better. But because the Pit Demon already had 2 damage, I don't know that I would have leaned towards the elusive. If the Pit Demon hadn't been damaged, yes, I think that you're better off putting it on the higher power creature that's less likely to die to direct damage. But in this situation, I'd put it on the elusive. Jiro gets 2 Mothers into play to give himself a lot of card draw. Looking at BizzaroDavid's lots of card draw from the previous turn. Probably feeling a bit jealous. Looking at the hand, we know that the Twin Bolt Emission is going to come down and, in all likelihood, kill off Naughty the Thief and Time Traveler. And then, did he pick up his archive? No, I'm not sure what else he had in his archive. But going to use lab work and probably just archive the Pawn Sacrifice again. Yep, that's exactly what he does. And now he has a large hand with a lot of options and is at 6 amber threatening BizzaroDavid with forging a key. I say threatening, there is no way in heck BizzaroDavid lets this key go through. With a Shadow's Call, unfortunately, I think Shadows may be the only thing he can use to stop it right now. Yeah, Naughty the Thief and Nerve Blast are going to be required to stop it. That will push Jiro down to 4 Ember. Bear in mind that currently there is a Titan mechanic on the edge, so that if he's at 5 Amber, it's not sufficient. He's got to get 1 more Amber off, but he's got the Nerve Blast, which he plays right here. and probably forgets about the Soul Snatcher because when he kills the creature with the Nerve Blast, he gets the amber back. So he's still threatening, and killing off the mothers means that Jiro is well in position to be able to forge his second key and pays 5 for it. Again, paying 5 because BizzaroDavid had the type mechanic in play. So BizzaroDavid has a lot of amber and got a lot of amber off of that play, but conceded the second key to him. And it's all because of the Soul Snatcher in this case. Soul Snatcher let Jiro gain quite a bit of amber as BizzaroDavid cleaned up the board. So once again, the board state strongly favors BizzaroDavid, but the game state favors Jiro. I cannot overstate this enough. How many times you can look at a game and say, one person looks like they have the dominant and winning board position, and they are so far behind. And that's the case here. BizzaroDavid being down no keys to 2 is very far behind where Jiro is. And looking at Jiro's hand, I don't see how he calls anything but Logos. I mean, it's not a spectacular play, but it's going to take 5 amber off of BizzaroDavid. Yes, it lets BizzaroDavid forge his first key. Well, actually, I take it back. Thanks to the Lash of Broken Dreams, if he's going to forge his first key anyways, I'd rather just cost him 3 amber and have a better turn with the Arise into the Dust Imp and getting yourself set up for victory. Yeah, and he does in fact call Dis. Jiro calls Dis. We will see Lash of Broken Dreams, which is going to make BizzaroDavid's key cost 9. And he gets to play a lot more creatures. Mind Barb takes out the Terror. I would expect to see the Stealer of Souls come down and kill the Pit Demon, which will be good for another amber for Jiro. And it takes one of the theft cards, particularly the theft card that has experimental therapy on it, off the board. And then Arise, grab the Dust Imp. You're not going to be able to run it into something to die right away. That's probably what he's debating right now, is whether or not he wants to use the speed signal ability to get the Dust Imp and get the 3 amber from killing the Dust Imp, or if he wanted to use the speed signal to use the Stealer of Souls. He opts to go with the Dust Imp route. I don't think that's what I would have done, but I would have gone with the Stealer of Souls. It's worth less, yes, but it also takes out his I have it belonging to every single house stealing creature. And BizzaroDavid now has to steal amber and be careful not to give Jiro enough to do anything. That having been said, there goes the Pit Demon stealing. BizzaroDavid did call Dis, so the fact that it had experimental therapy is irrelevant. Looking at the hand, you have to wonder what faction he's going to call Restricting Guntus for. Dis is probably what the board state suggests he should call Restricting Guntus for. But if he's paying attention to the cards available in the deck, the mass amber control is in Shadows and Logos, so it's a bit of a toss-up. He's going to play Restricting Guntus. I expect him to call Dis, and that's exactly what he calls. So BizzaroDavid is restricted from playing Dis. Or sorry, Jiro is restricted from playing Dis. Question is, what do you do? I would be tempted here to call Shadows, Reap with Nexus, and activate the Lash of Broken Dreams, because it is still true that Titan Mechanic is on the flank. So right now, even though he's only at 5 Amber, BizzaroDavid is threatening to forge his second key. Um, that cannot be allowed to happen. And the only way I really see to stop it is to call Shadows. I mean, yes, you can do it through Logos with the Effervescent Principle, but given the current board states and the way this is running, I think that you're going to find yourself in problems if you don't hold on to the Effervescent Principle. I think here I would Reap with Nexus, use the Lash of Broken Dreams, drop Silvertooth, and then fight Silvertooth into Rusting Guntus. And of course, use the Subtle Maul because you have a Subtle Maul. Of course, the other option is to call Logos, which would let you Effervescent Principle, maybe draw something with Doc Bookton, because you can drop it and reap it thanks to the Speed Sigil. But that's costing you 2 Amber right now when you're trying to get to enough Amber to win the game. I guess, no, that's not an option. You could drop and reap with Silvertooth, put yourself at 6 and be threatening yourself. But with your opponent being able to steal 2 from the board in either Dis or Shadows, that's not really an option. The Subtle Maul takes out the Library of the Damned. That's actually really good for BizzaroDavid. He's saying that it's a bad thing in chat. Looking at his hand, the only other card that I would really consider, honestly, Library of the Damned at this point in the game was the best card you could discard for Bizarros. Jiro taking out any other card in the hand would have been better. Except maybe Shadow Self. Jiro does drop Silvertooth. I assume he's going to fight Restricting Guntus to open up his options in the future, because he's got quite a bit of Dis on the board. And of course, the Gateway in hand. So yeah, Silvertooth is fighting, and I don't think there's any question about what he's going to fight with. Wait, what? Oh, he reaps with Silvertooth and then uses Pawn Sacrifice. Okay, that makes sense too. Pawn Sacrifice will let him blow up the Silvertooth, the Restricting Guntus, and the Experimental Therapy Pit Demon. It will not let him blow up the Titan Mechanic. And thanks to the Soul Snatcher, at this point, BizzaroDavid is guaranteed to be able to forge a key. It's very difficult to remember the Soul Snatcher and how it's affecting the game. I'm not sure what he's... Well, maybe Restricting Guntus isn't worth killing anymore. Right. Not sure what he... Very confused. Okay, so he put 3 damage on the Titan Mechanic and 3 damage on the other Pit Demon. He is instead choosing not... I'm so confused. He used the Nexus to use BizzaroDavid's Lash of Broken Dreams, so the key wasn't getting forged. And he chose to deal damage to the creatures rather than use the Soul Snatch, rather than kill Restricting Guntus and the Pit Demon and let the Soul Snatcher give BizzaroDavid Amber, which makes some sense. Oh, that's a difficult one to wrap my brain around. In any event, it does mean that he does not have the ability to call Dis still because the restricting Guntus lives. I'm not sure if that was the right play or not. Probably was. Jiro's a very good player. Probably a better player than I am. I shouldn't be second guessing him. But BizzaroDavid's going to call Shadows, which means he can bait and switch, and then Naughty the Thief, Criminal Therapy, Pit Demon, and Relentless Whispers won't quite. Well, he can Relentless Whispers his own creature, hitting Bad Penny to steal an extra one. Question is, how far does he want to push his Amber pool at this point? He's already at 9. And if he's looked at his opponent's deck, he should have a pretty good wager that there's an Effervescent Principle available. And yeah, he does that. Relentless Whispers his own Bad Penny. Bringing it back to hand, getting the Ember from stealing. Plays out Shadow Self to protect Restricting Guntus. That makes sense. And then plays out Bad Penny because it's Bad Penny. And reaps with Shadow Self, which will put him at 14 Amber. Oh. And in this case, this is starting to look like a match where the board state matters quite a bit. Because Jiro was out to an early lead, had 2 keys to none, and BizzaroDavid is rapidly catching up with a board state that if he calls Shadows or Dis, he's got 2 steals just off the board. And thanks to the Soul Snatcher, there's not much that Jiro can really do because he can't give BizzaroDavid the Ember. I mean, there's Restricting Guntus is still in play, which is limiting Jiro's options. If Restricting Guntus weren't in play, Jiro now has a very interesting option to play that would give him a lot of Ember and possibly the game. But because he didn't kill Restricting Guntus off the previous turn when he was worried about giving BizzaroDavid an Amber when he used the pawn sacrifice, now it's in a lot harder to kill position. Yeah, I'm thinking that when Jiro used pawn sacrifice, he really should have taken out the Restricting Guntus. Would put him in a lot better position here where he has the Gateway to Dis into Drumble to handle the Soul Snatcher Amber, give himself tons of Amber, and it would guarantee that BizzaroDavid doesn't have any Amber. On the other hand, BizzaroDavid does have a bait and switch in the deck. He doesn't currently have it though, right? Actually, does he even have it in the deck? I don't think this deck has it. It's got 0 cards. I don't see it in hand. It's not in the discard. Sorry, it's already in the discard. So now he's going to draw into it. Almost guaranteed, because he's going to play Time Traveler and draw 2 cards. And then play out a bunch of logos. Plays the Bat Drone, of course, because that lets him steal 1. Should throw it at the Succubus. It's got Skirmish, so throwing at an elusive creature doesn't matter. And the Succubus is actually causing an impact right now. And that one last job is sitting there looming large in hand for BizzaroDavid, but right now Jiro has 0 ambers, so it's not going to do any good. And BizzaroDavid has gotten enough amber to threaten his third and final key. And my, how this game has shifted. Getting to steal 2 with the experimental therapy pit demon and the bat drone, thanks to the speed signal, has put David in a solid position, now at 8 amber. And restricting Guntus is still in play, so the Drumble is out as an option for Jiro. And Jiro is saying, good game. There's nothing that he can do now. And yeah, at 8 amber, that is game. Good game, you two. Congratulations, BizzaroDavid. Wow, that was not what I wanted to type. Congrats at BizzaroDavid. Oh, I guess it is. Good game, you two. And I will be uploading this to YouTube later, but for now, this has been MathNut. It's been my pleasure to bring you this stream, sponsored by Keyforge Events. Sorry that I lost out so early. This has been the Monday night sealed deck tournament. I hope you've enjoyed the commentary. And patronize Keyforge Event sponsors, Orbits, Burger Tokens, Tabletop Legion, and Daydream Gaming. But that is it for me, for I must go to bed. Good night, one and all, and thank you for watching.